Welcome to Week 3, Lesson 14. The assessment is finally finished. I am Ms. V. Richardson, and I will be your instructor for the course. Let's review Unit 1, Decimals and Integers, Assessment A together. Grab your assessment from your guided notes, and let's begin. Unit 1, Decimals and Integers, Assessment A. The expectation is to complete this assessment with an 80% or above accuracy. In question number 1, our goal is to add the decimal values by making sure to line up the decimal. As we begin to add this, we have 1 plus 8 plus 6. Write your 5 in. Don't forget to bring your decimal point straight down, and then we're going to write the plus 1 there. So 1 plus 8 plus 3 is 12. We add the 1 here. 1 plus 5 plus 5 plus 8 is 19. So for this answer, our answer is letter D, 192 and 5/10. For question number 2, we are dividing 36 and 1800ths by 4500ths. Let's move our decimal point 2 spaces to the right of the divisor and 2 spaces to the dividend and pop that up and out. So that gives us a value of 45 divided into 3,618 with the decimal following the 8. If we have 361, can we subtract 45? And the answer is yes, we can 8 times. So 8 times 5 is 40 plus 4. 8 times 4 is 32 plus 4, which is 36. Our next step is to subtract 361 minus 360, which is 1. And then we bring down our 8. Now if we have 18, can we take 45 away? That answer is no, so we are going to add a 0. 0 times 45 is 0. Add a 0 and bring that down for a total of 180. Now from 180, we can subtract 45. 4 times 5 is 20, carry the 2, so plus 2. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 2 is 18. So 180 minus 180 is 0, and our answer is a positive 80 and 4/10. Question number 3, we want to find the interquartile range of the data set that is given. The first thing we need to do is write the numbers in order from least to greatest and find the median number. We mark the numbers off lowest to highest until we get to the middle. 72, 44, 69, 46, 67, 51, and 60. So we can see that our median number is 58. Now we find the median for the lower quartile by marking those numbers off, and we see that we have to find the mean of the values 44 and 46. We add those two numbers together and we get a total value of 90. Now we divide that 90 by 2 because we added by two numbers, which equals 45. So our Q1 is equal to 45. Now we find the middle value for the upper quartile. And we add 67 plus 69, and that will give us a total value of 136. We divide that by 2 because we've added two numbers together, and that is equal to 68. So our Q3 value is equal to 68. Q3 minus Q1 is equal to our IQR, which is our interquartile range. So let's substitute in the values to get 68 minus 45. That answer is 23. Letter C is the answer for this question. Question number 4, we're looking for the median of the data set, and the median is just the middle number. So we're going to mark them off from smallest to largest in order to find the middle number. The middle number for this data set is 5. 5 is the median, and the answer is letter B. Question number 5 is asking that we distribute our factor 13 to the difference of 4 and 3. So we distribute the 13 to the 4, which gives us 13 times 4, and then we subtract 13 times 3 from that. The answer is letter D as in dog. Let's solve problem number 6 using order of operations. We have negative 9 minus a negative 8 plus 2 times 4 squared. Now, the first thing we want to remember to do is to write out our stair steps. So we have PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division from left to right, and addition and subtraction from left to right. Let's go ahead and write everything in because the 4 squared is at the end. So 4 squared means 4 times 4, which is 16. The next step that we are going to tackle is the multiplication. So let's bring down our -9 minus our -8 plus, and this time 2 times 16 is 32. So let's do our multiplication there. Looking at this problem now, I have a subtraction of integers. I'm going to use keep, change, flip to change this subtraction problem to an addition problem. And then I'm going to add my 32 to that. So looking at my integers, I have a greater amount of negatives than I do positives, so my answer will be a -1 plus 32. This time I have more positives, so my answer is going to be a positive 31. The answer is letter B. Question 7, we have 1,408 divided by a -64. We know that when two values are different, they're going to produce a negative answer. So let's use this information and mark out the positive answer choices. Here we have 1,408 divided by 64. And we want to ask ourselves, can we take 64 away from 140? Yes, we can. We can do that 2 times. So 2 times 4 is 8, 2 times 6 is 12. And when we subtract that, we get a value of 12. So we're going to bring down that 8, and we want to take 64 from 128. Again, we can do that 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 6 is 12. And when we subtract that, we get 0. So remember, our answer for this problem is a -22. Letter C is the answer. Question number 8, we want to subtract 11 and 8/10 away from 76 and 5/10. So the first thing that we need to do is to make sure that we line up those decimal points. Now we have 5 minus 8, but we can't do that, so we have to borrow from the 6 and make that 5, which turns our 5 into a 15. 15 minus 8 is 7. So the next thing we do is to remember to bring down that decimal point. 5 minus 1 is 4. 7 minus 1 is 6. So that leaves us with an answer of 64 and 7/10, letter A. Question number 9, we want to divide 11 and 3/10 by 4/10. So the first thing that we need to remember to do is to move that decimal out. We're going to move it 1 space out of the divisor, 1 space out of the dividend, and pop it straight up. That will give us a new problem of 4 divided into 113 with the decimal behind the 3. So if we have 11, we can take 4 from that 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8, and when we subtract that, we get a value of 3. Next, we're going to bring 3 down, and now we have 33. So how many times can we take 4 from that? And that answer is 8. We can take 4 times 8, which is 32, and then subtract that from 33. 3 minus 2 is 1. The next thing we're going to do is add a 0 and go ahead and drop that down. So now we're looking at a value of 10, and we can take 4 from that 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8. Which leaves us with a value of 2. And we're going to add another 0 and drop that down. So now we have 20. How many times can we take 4 from 20? That answer is 5 times. 5 times 4 is 20. 20 minus 20 is 0. So in this case, our answer is letter B as in boy, 28 and 25/100. Question number 3, we're going to order these numbers from least to greatest, and we're going to put them on the number line because we know that numbers on the number line are from the least to the greatest. So we can add 0, -3 to the left of 0, -8 to the left of 0, and then -9. So please remember the number line goes from least to greatest, least to greatest. So our answer is letter C as in cat. For question number 11, we want to multiply 5 and 3/10 and 7 and 8/10. So let's write that out. 5 and 3/10 times 7 and 8/10. And we remember that when we multiply, we're moving that decimal out one space for 5 and 3/10 and out one space for 7 and 8/10. So that's a total of 2 spaces. Now let's simply multiply like these are whole numbers. So 53 times 78 means we're going to start with that 8 and we're going to multiply 8 times 3, which is 24. So we're going to write our 4 and carry our 2. Then we have 8 times 5, which is 40, plus 2, which is 42. Now let's add our 0 and continue with the 7. 7 times 3 is 21. 7 times 5 is 35, plus 2, which is 37. So now we're going to add those two together. 4 plus 0 is 4. 2 plus 1 is 3. 4 plus 7 is 11. Carry that 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. So we move that decimal out 2 spaces. Let's remember to move it back in 2 spaces, which gives us a final answer of 41 and 34 hundredths. Letter C is the answer. Question number 12, we're dividing a negative by a negative number, which we know is a positive number. So we're going to mark out letter B and D because we know that those answers cannot be negative. Next, we're going to take 216 and we're going to divide that by 18. So if we have 18, can we take that away from 21? Yes, we can, one single time. 1 times 18 is 18. And now we need to subtract. So we can't take 8 from 1. We're going to borrow from that 2 and make it 1 and make our 1 an 11. 11 minus 8 is 3. Next, we're going to bring down our 6, which gives us a value of 36. And we can take 18 away from 36 2 times. 2 times 18 is 36. So 36 minus 36 is 0, meaning that our answer is a positive 12, which is letter C. Question 13, we're comparing two positive numbers. We have a positive 29 being compared to a positive 60. And we know that 60 is larger than 29. So the answer here is letter A as in apple. Question 14, we want to subtract negative 2 minus a negative 16. So the first thing that we're going to do is change this to an addition problem by using keep, change, flip. We're going to keep that negative 2. We're going to change that subtraction to an addition and flip that negative 16 to a positive 16. Now we have 16 more positives than we do the 2 negatives, so our answer is 14. Letter A is the answer for this problem. Question 15, let's multiply 95 and 5/10 by 48 hundredths. Now the first thing we need to remember to do is to count out our decimals. In multiplication, we count them out and in. So for our first factor, we are counting out 1 space. For our second, we are counting out 2 for a total of 3 spaces. So now we're just going to multiply these as if they're whole numbers. 955 times 48. Let's begin. 8 times 0 is 40, so let's write our 0 and carry our plus 4. 8 times 5 is 40 plus 4, which is 44, so let's write our 4 and carry plus 4. 9 times 8 is 72, plus 4 is 76. Now we're going to add a 0 and continue with our 4. 4 times 5 is 20. Write our 0 and then carry our plus 2. 4 times 5 is 20 plus 2 is 22, so plus 2. 4 times 9 is 36 plus 2, which is a 38. Now let's add these two together. We have 0 plus 0, which is 0. 4 plus 0 is 4. 6 and 2 is 8. 7 and 8 is 15. So plus 1. 1 and 3 is 4. Remember that we moved the decimal out 3 spaces, so we have to move it back in 3 spaces. This gives us a final answer of 45 and 84 hundredths. The answer for this problem is letter D as in dog. Question 16, we're going to multiply 2 times negative 8, which is a positive number times a negative number. We know that's going to give us a negative answer. So let's mark out the positive answer choices and let's continue with the problem. 2 times 8, 16, and that means our answer is a negative 16. Letter B is our answer. Question 17, we're going to add negative 57 and positive 34. We remember that when we have integers with negative signs, we have to look at the absolute values of these integers. So the absolute value of negative 57 is 57. and the absolute value of positive 34 is 34. So we can see that in this situation, we have more negatives than we have positives. The next step to solving these problems would be to subtract the absolute value. So 57 minus 34, 7 minus 4 is 3, 5 minus 3 is 2. So the answer here is a negative 23. Letter D is the answer. Question 18, we're multiplying a negative integer by a positive integer, which we know will give us a negative answer. So let's mark out the positive answer choices A and B, and now let's multiply 40 and 70. 40 times 70 is equal to 2,800. This is a negative answer, so letter C is the correct answer choice. Question 19, we're going to subtract 32 and negative 14. So for this problem, let's do keep, change, flip to turn it into an addition problem. We're going to keep that positive 32, change that subtraction to an addition, and change that negative to a positive 14. Now we have two positive numbers which simply total to 46. Letter A is the answer. Question 20, let's add 2 and negative 6. Because these integers have different signs, let's look at the absolute values. The absolute value of 2 is 2. The absolute value of negative 6 is 6. So in this case, when we compare these two integers, our negative wins. That means we can cross out the positive answer choices, letter D and letter A, because our answer is not going to be positive. Now, when we subtract the absolute values, 6 minus 2, we get a final answer of 4. And because our negatives win, the answer is negative 4. Thank you for learning with me. How did you do? Add your score to the chat. I have prepared guided notes to help you organize your thoughts in this lesson. This lesson is a part of a larger unit available at kepcurriculum.com. Each course contains video lessons, guided notes, practice activities, and assessments to help you learn and remember the material. With the course, you can reinforce your knowledge and ensure a deeper understanding of the content. It's easy to print the guided notes and use for those offline study sessions. I am Ms. V. Richardson, and I want to say thank you for watching this lesson using guided note, and don't forget, subscribe to the channel and become a family member at kepcurriculum.com. Happy learning, and don't forget, if you want to extend your learning, here are some additional videos that you can tune into.